Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Delgadillo, and the title of my article is called Sex Differences in Hardiness, Coping, and Health in New West Point Cadets. The author of this article is Paul T. Barton and Roslyn Roche. The article is simply about the hardiness, coping, and health in men versus women. The article is going to present the studies that are found in hardiness, which is important to the military officers in training, maintaining good health despite high stress levels. And the way they went about collecting this information were survey methods. These survey methods were based off hardiness, coping strategies, health symptoms, and number of hospitalizations for all causes. There were a total of 162 men and 72 women. Results show that female cadets are higher in hardiness and emotion-focused coping, as well as somewhat higher in symptom reports than the males, which I find pretty amazing. More of the simple fact, because one of my weaknesses to the article was the imbalance of sexes. There were more men than there were women, totaling of 69% men and 31% women. I find the results somewhat weak, as the surveys for the cadets were only sent out half of the fall and spring semester. I believe it's too much time to pass between someone who is under high stress levels, simply because someone is in fight for fight mode, affecting their memory. A weak source of information gathering. I believe a strength was that the article is published by military psychology itself, and Harvard graduating psychologist, which brings knowledge of the environment and a more trustworthy opinion of someone who has experience in the categories. If I could change one of my weaknesses, I would believe that they should be collecting more data within a smaller time frame, just to have more precise and accurate results. In my opinion, when people are under high stress levels, they tend to forget once the adrenaline has calmed down, affecting their mental health. Some are unable to forget it and they end up being hospitalized. But by the time they get their surveys, they probably already forgot exactly how they felt. When observing their data information, I believe it was a strength, as everything that was mentioned in the article were mentioned in the table results, making it a bit easier to understand their graphs and tables. I also found a weakness, as there were no specifics to what health problems were being occurred and being tested for in the cadets. If you were to mention hospitalizations and health, it's important to mention what health problems were inflicted. In my opinion, there were more weaknesses than strengths in this article, as there wasn't as much detail as I would like. I believe there should have been a shorter window between surveys, as well as other techniques used to collect data besides surveys. I believe overall it was a great article, as they did a really good job gathering information and providing the best of their knowledge of what they were able to collect from survey information. The article overall was a good read. I would recommend it to anyone who is interested in military cadets, as it could be resourceful information to somebody who is interested and wondering how it would affect their hardiness and coping mechanisms, as well as their physical health, and what may be expected in high stress level environments. Overall, a very good read to my experience. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video.